Hi, it's Ian from Let's Delight with your weekly dose of property tips and ideas. And today it's not just about property. What we're going to be doing is actually this is about any business, because you might have noticed that a few weeks ago there was a little break. I'm sure you didn't miss it. It was called Christmas. Of course you didn't miss it. And what that gives is the opportunity for most businesses, not all, because maybe if you work in hospitality you don't get much of a break, just one day, but to take a little bit of a break to review your business. And I thought I'd share what we did as regards goal setting in order that it might inspire you, give you some ideas, etc. Now, you may well have already done some goal setting over Christmas, and if you have, that's fantastic. But if you haven't, it's not too late just to take a little bit of time and do a bit of planning. So what we did is Jules and I sat down and just basically talked about the business, just spent some time together, talked about our aspirations for the year ahead and the fears of the business of the year ahead. It's been a big change for us, particularly for Jules, because our goal of 2018, our biggest one, was to get Jules out of her employment and working full-time in the business. And she did that just before Christmas, and she started back on the 7th of January after a lovely break. So big changes for us, and of course that brings a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fears. So we sat down and we thought about what those are, and from that we set ourselves some targets, and they were all about time and about money. So from a money point of view, we said, well, okay, how much do we want to increase the profit from the business? And from that we know about how much of each property brings us in per month. We don't invest in 10, 12 bedroom multi-let, so we don't have masses of income per property. But equally we don't invest in small single lets, which only produce £100-200 a month. We're somewhere in between. So we know about how many properties we've got to do, and we build a bit of leniency into that. We increase the figure slightly because we don't want to take all of our profits out of the business. We need to build up some in order to keep the business going and to expand. So from that we decided that during the year we need to purchase or acquire 6 properties. Now we don't have the capital to go and buy 6 properties. So we thought, well, actually what we'll do is there's a new strategy that we've been exploring, it's new to us, and that's rent to rent, which doesn't involve large amounts of capital up front. So we've identified that what we want to do during the year is to acquire 6 properties. 3 we want to buy, because rent to rent is great for many things, but the one disadvantage is that you don't get the capital appreciation because you don't own the property. The owner gets that. So we want to buy 3 and have 3 on rent to rent agreements. So we've sketched out basically how these are going to fit through the year. So we know which months we want to be at which stages with which properties. Of course that might change because you never know what deals come your way or what setbacks you might have. Or you might just not find any properties that are suitable. But if you don't have a plan, you haven't got anything to work by. It's got to be a bit flexible, but you've got to have that plan. So that's the money side of things. Now the time side of things, I have to admit I found this one quite difficult to set goals around. But essentially this is about systemizing our business. Now if you've heard Jules or I speak at all, or you know us personally, you'll almost certainly know what our big life goal is. Our personal life goal is to have somewhere to live in Istanbul, and also somewhere to live in England, and to spend 3 or 4 months in each of those places, and the rest of the year, the other 6 to 9 months of a year, spend travelling and seeing some of the rest of the world. And by that I don't mean just going somewhere for 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, a bit like a holiday. I mean basically buying a one-way ticket somewhere and seeing how long we want to stay there. Now that's a big goal, but it's one that we will achieve, but not in a year. So all of our goals have got to work towards that. So we need to be able to operate the business from anywhere. So being able to get the time side to do that means systemization. Now I work with a business coach, and because I can't particularly work these goals out particularly well, this is something that we're going to be working with over the next few months. So I may well be doing another one of these hints and tips video all about that. But at this point what we've done is we've said, well, what we need is we need a process diagram. We already have one, but we need one that's a bit better, and we need to consistently drill down into each of those processes that we do in the business to divide them out into various stages. Once we've done that and we've got them down to probably 5, 10, 15-minute chunks or so, we then need to document each one of those in a way that anybody else can do them. And then we need to start outsourcing more and more and more of them. Now, on the subject of outsourcing, we have a PA. She's from the company Ask Avril, and she's really transformed our business. Avril has been amazing in what she manages to do for us. And if you are thinking, as I know many people are, of getting a VA, I would say stop thinking and do it now, because it's one of the best things we did in business, and we're going to utilise that service more this year. Now, the other part of systemisation that we've identified is work efficiency. So by that I mean us doing the work that we do more efficiently, and that can always be done. So for example, one of the things that I spent some time doing quite a while ago now was learning keyboard shortcuts. So when you're typing on a keyboard, do you keep going for the mouse? If so, that actually slows you down. Now, of course, we all have to do it sometimes because nobody memorises all the shortcuts. But I took some time to learn some of the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts, things like Control-C, Control-V, things that are really, really useful to use, and you use them a lot. And although it slowed me down while I was learning, I'm now much quicker at using a computer. I know I could now do with being able to type quicker, so I'm probably going to be doing some stuff around that sometime this year. But that's one of the things we want to do, is to identify the places where we can increase the work efficiency. And some of that will be outsourcing, some of them will be buying and finding new tools, but also improving our own skills. So that's the broad outline, some stuff around money, some stuff around time, and a certain plan to go and get those. So I hope that was useful, I hope it gave you some ideas, and I hope it gave you some inspiration. So next week I'll be back with some more tips, and they'll probably be a bit more specifically property related. So until then, take care, take action, and let's see some results.